All right, welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and we're back in the review room to jump right into this review for the McFarlane Toys Fortnite Cuddle Team Leader. This is the one my daughter is excited about receiving for Christmas. I'll be honest, I was going to buy this skin just last night. They re-released it. However, I somehow never noticed they released a Halloween version, the same bear, but green. My favorite color is green, with black stripes and a pumpkin backpack, and it's got like stitching in its mouth. It's so freaking cool looking, so I bought the green one. Hopefully they'll make different versions of these. You would figure if this line is successful, that'd be a great way to reuse the molds. They literally just repaint this. It's an actual repaint that fans wouldn't get mad at, because it's not like a random made-up repaint. It's something in the game, and I would being a fan of Halloween and horror movies and stuff like that, I'd go out and purchase it. So if they decide to do that, that's cool. But let's dive straight into this and look at the articulation and the sculpt and paint work. The Cuddle Team Leader, they did a fantastic job with this one. This one has these neat crooked eyes, that scar there, the way they colored the fur with two tones of pink, give it that fur-like look to it. In the indents, it's that dark pink, kind of purple in some areas it looks like, and then on the higher up areas it looks like that lighter tone of pink, or more of a, well, I don't know how to say it, but it's not, yeah, it's like a lighter flat. There, you could definitely see the way they painted it, the style they painted it. It was to give it that fur look to it, and it definitely stands out. It looks like it too, blended with the sculpting and whatnot. So there's the face, great likeness. I mean, it looks just like the skin you would get in the game. The buttons on the back of the head, great paint job. The sculpt is a home run. Paint job is a home run. The articulation is a home run. I think McFarlane Toys, they're right on the money with these. Like I said, just a little more articulation in the shoulder areas. And I think, oh, articulation in the shoulder areas, even though it's there, just a touch more. And the legs especially. If we can only improve one thing on the figure, it would be just a little bit more with the hips, so that way they can sit in a kneeling position. I think that would be great, because obviously they're going to come out eventually with, actually she looks like she would kneel pretty good. Yeah, she kneels pretty good. He, however, the Skull Trooper, because of his hips, the way his hips are designed, it's a little harder to get him kneeling. So here's her chest with the broken heart, and then you have her armband, just like, forgetting where the camera is at, just like the Skull Trooper, except for hers reads XOXO. Remember, she was a Valentine's Day skin, or a Valentine's Day season skin. She comes out now regularly, but she originally was out for the Valentine's Day holiday in, what, 2018 for the first time, I believe they premiered her. You have, everything is screen accurate from what I remember. I mean, this is right on the money. You got the knee pads, the shin pads, these boots, the color pink they painted. It's kind of like a sparkly chrome. Got a chrome metal, like a pink metal look to it. Again, did a great job. There's definitely scuffs here. What's funny is, I just took a break to tell my daughter to calm down a little bit. She's actually playing Fortnite right now. She gets a little too hyper and she starts yelling and screaming. That's the last thing I need, is for the neighbors to go, hey, what's all that about? They got scuffs, just like with the Skull Trooper. There's scuff markings. Let me get the best. Having the bright light on it with some of these, it doesn't show as good, but you can see the scuff in the shin guard, the knee guard. Great work. And then let's look at the back of the figure. Not much there to highlight, but still an amazing figure. All right, so the articulation, and then we'll take a look at what she comes with. You have two points of articulation under the jaw, and then right where the neck connects to the body. And you get a lot of attitude with these figures if you want to put them up in a pose or an emote. When they advertise these, they talk about having the articulation so you can put them in some type of emote dance. But as you can see, there's a lot of range here, so you can do a ton with that. With these butterfly joints, and I'm not real familiar with butterfly joints, but again, I'm not a toy reviewer collector. We just look at some interesting things on the channel. But the ones I've seen in the past, were the reason they're called butterfly joints is because they go forward and back in like the way a butterfly wings would go. But these are a little bit different. They aren't like that. They're kind of like a double joint with the shoulder, and it goes all the way around. But it does give that butterfly effect here, going forward and back, bringing the shoulders up and down. Some of them can do the shrug by bringing the arm up and down. So there's a good amount of articulation there, and that's to get them to hold the pickaxe like they're swinging it. Same thing for their gun. Their arms do everything you need them to. They go up, they go around. There's a swivel under the shoulder muscle there. And then in the elbow, double hinged elbow. Actually, I bent it like a dummy, but it's a double hinge elbow, so you get a ton of range with that. And then you saw the wrist also has some fantastic articulation. It spins around, does whatever you need it to do. There's articulation in the sternum there. You get a good amount of up and then a good amount of down. The waist twists somewhat. It's a bit stiff, but you can get a waist twist there. Combine it with what you have up here, you get a good amount having her turn or running or dancing, whatever you want to do. The hips is the only thing I have, probably the only con I pick out with these is the hip articulation. It's something that I wish they improve in the future. It makes it look great when it's standing up, and I think that's what they were going for. However, when you go to move them around, it's not forgiving. It's just not too forgiving with posing in certain poses. So that's one thing I would like to see them improve on. But as far as having articulation there but still looks good, as far as the sculpt and how everything comes together, they did a good job there. It's just you'd want to get a little bit more give with that. Let me see, because if you move it, yeah, if you move it a certain way, if you just come up straight with it, it wants to get stuck, but you can still kick up straight. Sometimes, for some reason, it's getting stuck on something. But like I said, if you move it a little bit, it's hard to see in the camera, actually. Anyway, it'll go up. I don't know why you need it to go back, but it'll go up. And her legs will come down. So I think this has a little more range than the Skull Trooper, probably because of her body style. It's a little slimmer. And double hinge at the knee, and then you have articulation in the ankle. I don't think there's a rocker. Like, it doesn't rock on the ankle, but it does go up and down real good. I'm sure you can probably twist this ball here, yeah, to get the articulation to move, because if you do, then you can get the rocker. So you're gonna have to play with that. That little bit there will give you a lot more articulation depending on what stance you put her in. And then she has the toe articulation, which is crazy. That's way more than you need, but it is great that it's there. So when you put her in a stance, she can have her toe down, which is just what you need. Let me see if we can get this up. See what I mean? It gets stuck on something. And if you have her like this with that toe down, that's why they do that articulation there. So I don't know what I did here, but it'd be nice if there was some sort of swivel, but it would mess up with the sculpt, so I get why they didn't do it. But anyway, she comes with the FORTNITE base, which is great having the 2 pegs, because with articulation in the toes, it's going to loosen the toe articulation up a little, and you're going to want those pegs. We'll put her in a funny little tilt her head. Yeah, this was one of the first skins. My daughter got a Christmas skin, And then after that, I believe the bear was her second skin ever on Fortnite, the Cuddle Team Leader. This is the bow that she comes with in-game, and you just pop it in her back. Let me see how, oh, that actually popped in really smooth. So it pops right in there, and I would imagine you can use the book bag with, let me grab it, the Skull Trooper, and then you can interchange them. Now, she comes with the Bright Bomber's harvesting tool, which, like I mentioned before, I wish McFarlane would start incorporating the proper harvesting tools. Not all characters come with one, but certain characters come with a standard harvesting tool. I thought maybe I got it wrong, but I just recently bought the Dark Bomber. I believe that's what it is. It's the Bright Bomber, but it's like a zombified, not zombified, but it's like a upside down version. It's like a darker version. Everything's dark on it, has different images. Instead of a unicorn, it's a dragon, I don't know, something like that. But it has the same pickaxe, but just dark colors, you know? So I think for sure this is definitely the Bright Bombers. So it would have been nice for inbox collectors to get the Bright Bomber with the Bright Bomber's harvesting tool. But this thing is friggin' hilarious. It's so much, it's such a high level of ridiculous and neat that it's no wonder why fans get a kick out of this. You have a llama with a unicorn, and as you know, in the game, llamas are, originally they were the loot boxes for the Save the World edition. You break them open, loot spills out. They took that concept, put it in Battle Royale, and you find llamas in the game. You break them open like a piñata. Your weapons and ammo spill out. Your wood, materials, stuff like that. So, neat. Great sculpt. I mean, it's ripped right from the game. There's zero complaints. The paint work is sharp and crisp. They did a fan-frickin-tastic job. The scar is exactly how it is seen in the game. It's a little dull, in my opinion, but again, it's exactly how it is in the game. But the weapons, that's something that's I'm curious about in the future, if eventually they're going to do a weapon with maybe a blue glow or a green glow or a gold glow around it. I don't know how that would look. I don't know. Or maybe instead of a weapon, you get a glow effect and you put the weapon in it to put loot on the ground as like a display. I'm not really sure, because if you release so many figures, you're going to run out of guns. Now, luckily, there's so many different weapons, and there's always weapons coming in and out of the game, that they might be able to go a long while without having to duplicate weapons. I think some of them will be duplicated. Like, for example, if you come out with a Cuddle Team Leader skin that's a repaint, like the Patriot Bear, you can give her a scar too, and just have multiple scars. And that's something I don't think fans are going to care about, especially the collectors who want to display these, because if your favorite gun is the scar, you might give the scar to each of them, you know, each of your figures you're putting out. So I think this is a home run. If I had stock in Fortnite, or if I was a businessman, I would be grinning ear to ear, because this seems like it's a moneymaker. I mean, this seems like it's gonna stick, it's gonna work. Like I said, the game and the characters and the idea of it, it screams merchandise. And it's no surprise that we have Fortnite merchandise sitting out in front of us now. And what McFarlane Toys especially did with these figures, I can't see this failing. There's just no way this is going to fail, unless the game, for whatever reason, becomes unpopular. Other than that, I just can't see this. This is a win-win. And McFarlane Toys just reached out yesterday and asked if I wanted to review the Raptor and the Black Knight, I believe. So that's the others in Wave 1, and I'm really excited about that. I immediately told them absolutely, because I took a look at the Skull Trooper and the Cuddle Team Leader, but obviously I can't buy everything out there and review it, so with them sending it in, that'll definitely make sure we are able to review it on the channel. So I'm hoping they're able to send that in really quick, and we'll get it reviewed for you. So if you're interested in that, put a like on the video and let me know down in the comment box. So this is a look at the Cuddle Team Leader and the Skull Trooper from Fortnite's, from McFarlane Toys Fortnite figures. They did a great job. All right. Thanks for coming by the review room. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.